I am Zeus, king of Olympus, ruler of the heavens. Worship me and you will be led, judged, and measured justly. My twin children, Artemis and Apollo, are excused from today's meeting. At the same time, I am absolving my sister, goddess Demeter. She drove to the underworld to pick up our little daughter Persephone. Brother Hades over here kindly discharges her every year for a summer vacation.
I am Hera, the oldest sister and wife of Zeus, queen of the gods and a jealous avenger. Worship me, and I will bless any of your marriages. For his absence, pardon my son Hephaestus and his wife Aphrodite, for yesterday they left for Cyprus.
I am Hades, brother of Zeus, ruler of death, king of the underworld. I prefer to wear an invisibility cloak. Worship me, and soon you will be richer. Also, I'd like to cover for Ares. Right now, he has his hands full with the cleanup of fallen warriors down below.
I am Poseidon, another brother of Zeus, ruler of the waters and storms, hot-headed earthshaker. Worship me, and your voyage will be safe.
I am Hermes, son of Zeus and Maia, the oldest of the 7 Pleiades sisters. I am father of Hermaphroditus, murderer of the giant Argus, king of thieves and entrepreneurs, coach of athletes and con artists, bearer of happiness and a fast messenger of the gods. Worship me, and I will protect you on your journeys.
I am Pallas Athena, favorite, illegitimate daughter of my daddy, Zeus, a warrior virgin, patron of the arts, protector of heroes, a goddess of wisdom. Worship me, and your olives will be abundant.
I am Dionysus, the outcome of another extramarital affair of my daddy Zeus, this time with a mortal, my mom, Semele, daughter of the king of Thebes. I am a drunk, a scruffy god of wine and pleasure, god of harvest and fertility. Worship me, and you will have plenty of offspring.
Who wants to start today's discussion?
Daddy, I would like to address the matter of Odysseus.
Screams, flames, and the clatter of weapons woke up the Trojan slumberers. With eyes still blurred by dreams, they grabbed their weapons. The fight entered the city and overtook every house. The city burned on all sides, and in the light of blinding fires, the Trojans waged a futile battle. Even the old King Priam and almost all of the royal family fell.
What a great battle it was, King Menelaus. Troy lies there reduced to ashes. Thanks for the 10 precious years of mayhem and chaos spent here in military clashes.
Thank you, King Odysseus. Got back my sweet little Helena, my dear. So have a pleasant voyage home.
Oh hell, I'm afraid the playtime ends here.
Odysseus set sail from Trojan shores with his 12 ships. He longed to catch sight of his native Ithaca as soon as possible. Of what use were strong arms to the rowers? The wind was stronger and chased the ships off to a foreign shore, a Ciconian city by the name of Ishmael. The Greeks disembarked and in a fight seized the city. They strangled the men and divided the spoils and young women evenly among themselves so that no one comes out short. In the meantime, the Cicones called upon their inland neighbors for help. In the morning twilight, they attacked the Greeks, who were weary from all the frolic, food, and drink. 6 Greeks from each ship fell in a cruel brawl. The others were spared only by a cowardly retreat. With heavy hearts, the Greeks set out to sea. They hadn't sailed for very long when the sky and waters darkened. A raging storm blew in, roaring across the waves. The rowers leaned in, and only with great effort reached dry land. They stepped ashore and replenished fresh drinking water. Odysseus dispatched 3 sailors on a scouting mission. The sailors did not return for a long time. Therefore, Odysseus set out after them himself. He was concerned that something bad might have happened to his mates. Soon, however, he found out exactly why they were not coming back. The shore where the Greek ships anchored was the land of the Lotophagos, the Lotos Eaters. The Lotophagos received all foreigners with kindness and offered them a meal of sweet lotus fruit. Whoever tasted this superb dish did not want to leave and wished to stay in the land of the Lotos Eaters forever. The hapless sailors sent by Odysseus tasted the fine lotus fruit and were refusing to return. He had to drag them back by force and, crying, placed them onto the ship. He untied them only after the land of the Lotophagos disappeared from their sight.
The sun warms only mildly, cormorant's wings keep flapping on. Orpheus sings in our ears blindly. Those are the dreams before dawn. Of all the children in the port of Piraeus, who long since went to bed, he sings into my ear. God knows how many times he sings and strums his lyre. And I still rove the wide world,
Before long, they reached an island. Odysseus, along with 12 of his bravest men, went ashore, not knowing that this was the land of the Cyclops, the one-eyed giants who faithfully neither plow nor sow. And yet they have an excess of everything. They live without laws and conventions, and they treat children and wives according to their moods, and they don't care about others. Wild grapevines climbed along the hillsides, and among the shrubbery and leaves, juicy clumps of grapes were turning blue. Finally, they found themselves standing in front of a dark, black cave. Around the cave, a barrier of roughly hewed rocks was piled up. Behind the barrier, a huge herd of lambs and kids baaed and bleated. The Greeks entered the cavern. Inside, they found furnishings so colossal that they were gripped with terror and began to persuade Odysseus to return to the ship. Odysseus advised them to at least wait until the giant's appearance. He wanted to find out what kind of hospitality the giant might provide. So they waited in the cave into the evening. At dusk, pounding, thunderous steps rocked outside. Sand began to sprinkle down from the ceiling.
You strangers, who are you looking for? Are you merchants, or are you the pirates and thieves who cruise the sea, harming others?
We are Greeks. We're sailing home from the war of Troy. We could use some hospitality. You know as well as we do that the gods command to treat guests with respect.
Ha ha ha! The gods command. I am not concerned with your gods. We Cyclops are mightier, and I am Polyphemus, the mightiest of all. We do as we please. Do you understand? And where did you anchor your ship? Speak.
We lost our ship. The Earthshaker Poseidon, the ruler of the sea, smashed it on the reef. Only myself and these 12 men were spared. The others met their demise in the waves.
You I'll have tonight for dinner, you tomorrow for breakfast, and you for lunch.
Mother of Zeus!
Mother of Zeus!
Oh, Mother of Zeus!
Mother of Zeus!
Mother of Zeus!
Oh, Mother of Zeus!
Here, have a drink, Cyclops. Perhaps a swig of good wine will soften your savage heart.
Give me some more. I have never before tasted such a good wine. The gods can't be drinking any better. I'm not a thankless ogre. Tell me your name, and I will repay you.
I will reveal my name to you, but don't forget your promise. My name is Nobody. People call me Nobody. Even my friends and family do.
Listen well. I like you. You, Nobody, I will eat last. That will be your reward. Ha 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 ha.
What's happening? Why do you wake us up in the middle of the night?
Shouted the neighbor Cyclops from outside.
Why do you bellow so, Polyphemus? Is someone murdering you?
Murdering me? Oh, nobody, neighbors. Nobody is.
Nobody? So why are you moaning and groaning? Did perhaps Zeus bring disease upon you?
Say a prayer to Poseidon, your father, to spare you from illness.
In the morning, the grumbling giant pushed open the barrier to the cave so that the sheep and goats could go out to graze. He sat by the opening and frisked each animal thoroughly. The sly Odysseus clung to the belly of the largest ram and was able to slip out of the cave.
Polyphemus, can you hear me? A just vengeance has befallen you for your godless deeds. You didn't dawdle to lay your hands on your guests, therefore Zeus and all the gods condemned you. When someone asks you, Cyclops, who blinded you, tell them that Odysseus, conqueror of cities, king of the island of Ithaca, robbed you of your eyesight.
I'll be damned. An old prophecy that a tiny mortal comes and blinds me by a clever ruse has just been fulfilled. But wait, Odysseus, I will beseech my father, God Poseidon, to cause your homecoming to be very tardy and alone, destitute, without friends, and on somebody else's ship too.
The Greeks sailed for several days on a vast sea, and no storm blew them off course. Soon they reached an island where King Aiolos, master of the winds, ruled. The good king warmly welcomed Odysseus and the Greeks in his magnificent palace. He asked them all about the War of Troy and their voyage back home. He lavishly entertained them for an entire month.
I am King Aielos, a mighty master of winds. Receive my reception and today's offerings. Afghanistan, Morocco, Hindu Kush, then there is Acapulco, Lebanon, and blend of Babylon. A plentitude of drink and food, anything that suits your mood. Leisurely and easygoing, wetting your whistle daily, bedding courtesans nightly.
King Aielos, thank you for your hospitality. A month has passed, and I think it's time to resume our journey home.
King Odysseus, all the unfavorable, wild winds are contained in this large bag made of cowhide. Accept it as my parting gift.
For 9 days and nights, winds steadily stretched the sails of their ships, and on the 10th day, the Greeks caught sight of Ithaca. The island's shore was so close that they could see shepherds' campfires. At that time, Odysseus could not refrain from falling asleep. The entire voyage, he steered the ship and did not rest. But now, right before their arrival, he fell into slumber.
Looky here, Odysseus has dozed off. Finally, let's find out what gifts he carries. Home in the bag from King Aielos. He didn't flaunt it, maybe he never wanted to share with all of us his bag of silver and gold.
By all the gods, what have you done to us? That was a bag of wild and raging violent winds. Now we are lost again.
The weary, worn-out Greeks arrived at an unknown rocky landmass. Odysseus sent 3 men into the interior on a scouting mission. The men crossed a vast plain. A little skip this. The men learned they were in the land of the Lestrygonians. Okay, we'll skip this too. The monstrously huge king of the Lestrygonians swooped in, grabbed one of the Greeks and had him prepared to be eaten. The other two sailors escaped and luckily returned to their friends with the ominous news.
Quickly, all aboard, lest we become food for the giant Lestrygonians.
The giant king signaled the alarm, and huge Lestrygonians swarmed the shore. They broke off rocks from the cliffs and pelted the ships with them, smashing them to pieces. None of the vessels anchored in the harbor escaped, except for Odysseus with a handful of sailors. With only one ship, they set out to sail the sea. Completely exhausted from arduous rowing and listless from horrors they had endured, the Greeks landed on another unfamiliar island.
Rojos, take some men and scout the place.
The helmsman Eurylochus and his troop set off grimly into the forest. Everything that had happened to them in the land of the Cyclops and Lestrygonians was fresh on their minds. So they proceeded slowly and cautiously. In a forest ravine, they discovered an imposing mansion with grandiose architecture. A sweet song could be heard coming from inside. The lovely singing voice belonged to a sorceress, Circe.
Come on in, you Greeks. Take your seat in an easy chair. I prepared for you a scrumptious meal from honey, cheese, flour, and intoxicating wine. Get along into the pigsty. There I threw acorns and beech nuts out for you.
They turned into pigs. Let's sail off while we still can. Gods only know what danger lurks here.
We cannot sail off and leave our friends behind. Describe to me the way, and I will go and see for myself.
Where are you running to? Do you think you can help your friends without God's help? Circe transformed them into the likeness of pigs. Here, this poisonous weed, it's called Molly. With it you will resist all spells. Take it now! After Circe touches you with her magic wand, draw your sword and lunge at her. Easily you'll enforce her vow not to harm you.
To the pigsty, join your friends. Woe betide me, aren't you Odysseus, who was foretold in prophecy to me? If you are Odysseus, sheath your sword. Let's be friends.
Swear. Swear that you will do me no harm.
I swear. Why are you refusing my wine? Did you get accustomed to better delicacies than I am serving you?
How can I enjoy if my friends are suffering hardship? Free them from your spell, and you will remove my sadness.
time passed quickly with all the banquets and amusements. After a year, Odysseus asked Circe to release him and his men.
We have been here a year already. When do you intend to release us?
I don't want to keep you here against your will. However, if you want to avoid prolonged roaming about, you must find the entrance to the underworld. There the ghost of the blind seer, Tiresias, will prophesize for you. Raise the mast, tighten the sail, the wind will take care of the rest. After you cross the ocean, you will catch sight of a low coastline with a grove of willows and slender black cypress trees. That is the grove of the goddess Persephone and the entrance to the underworld. There you dig a small hole and make a sacrifice to the dead.
A favorable wind blew. A low seashore with black cypress trees appeared on the horizon. Odysseus obeyed the advice of the enchantress Circe and set out alone onto the gloomy shore. There he dug a small hole and made an offering to the dead. After he said a prayer, the souls of the departed emerged from the underworld.
Mother?
Put away your sword, Odysseus. You seriously annoyed the god Poseidon. When you blinded his one-eyed son, Polyphemus, he will hinder your return home. Heed my advice. Soon you will arrive at the island of Thrinacia. Healthy herds of sheep and cows graze upon lush meadows. Those herds belong to the sun god Helios. Should you kill any of the animals, I prophesy doom to your ship and your friends. Alone and on a foreign ship, you will arrive home. You will find your palace full of arrogant suitors, wooing your wife Penelope. If you return home, you will chastise those suitors, then make a sacrifice to God Poseidon, and you can reach a peaceful old age.
I see the shadow of my mother, silent doesn't look at me. How can I be able to speak to her?
Allow her to approach this small hole. She will have a word with you.
How did you come here, my child? Do you still roam the world since the fall of Troy? Have you not yet returned to Ithaca, to your wife and son? Your faithful wife, Penelope, mourns for you and keeps on waiting. Your son Telemachus lives freely off his father's material possessions. Your old father packed up and moved to the countryside and refuses to visit the town.
Mother!
Odysseus, beware when I return from the war of Troy. My own wife, Clytemnestra, killed me, perhaps because back then I had to sacrifice our daughter, Iphigenia, to their gods. Perhaps in your own country, someone makes an attempt on your life.
I could barely recognize the late King Agamemnon. I can see, Achilles, that even in the underworld you became the ruler of the dead.
I would rather be a plowman on earth than the sovereign of the dead in the underworld.
Why do you hobble with a limp?
Ah, my Achilles tendon has been troubling me for years.
Wow, a shadow of Mad King Iasus.
Odysseus knew he would have to overcome two dangers that Circe warned him of.
Pour some wax in your ears. We're approaching the Strait of the Sirens. Fasten me to the ship. Throw me into the sea. Throw me overboard. How many of us survived?
The monster Scylla devoured 6 of us. I see an island full of grazing cattle. Allow us to rest after such a strenuous voyage.
That's a herd belonging to the sun god Helios. Do not touch his animals, lest a wicked prophecy is fulfilled. I am going on a reconnaissance mission. You all wait here.
Hear my words, loyal friends in adversity. Each death is terrible, but none so horrible as dying of hunger. Come on, let's kill a few cows and offer the best parts to the gods, so that we may be forgiven. We'll share the rest among us.
The hungry sailors joyfully agreed with Eurylochus and made a promise that if they escaped unscathed, they would build a magnificent temple to Helios on Ithaca. Then they butchered a few heads of cattle.
Yum, yum.
You didn't keep your oath.
Soon the wrath of the gods manifested. The cows' skins crawled on the grass, and the raw meat lowed on turnspits. Helios saw the sailors' deed from the sun chariot and reported to Zeus and the other celestials. He requested a proper punishment for Odysseus' mates and threatened that if they were not condemned, Odysseus would be thrown to the realm of the shadows to hold the light for the dead. The island of Trinacia disappeared on the horizon behind their backs. An infinite plain of water stretched out in all directions. Zeus could not put off the verdict any longer. He sent black clouds across the blue sky, unleashed a storm, and hurled a bolt of lightning at the ship. It tipped over, and Eurylochus was washed into the sea.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Only Odysseus, who did not consume any meat from Helios' cattle, survived. On the 10th night after the shipwreck, he drifted on a broken plank to the island of Ogygia. A beautiful, wicked nymph named Calypso lived there in a shadowy cave amidst flowering groves. She received Odysseus in her vaulted dwelling overgrown with grapevines. She entertained him and tried to make him forget the outside world. Calypso kept Odysseus on her island for 7 years, not allowing him to sail away. Finally, the goddess Athena took pity on the unfortunate captive and interceded with the ruler of the gods, Zeus, on Odysseus' behalf.
Daddy, I would like to address the matter of Odysseus.
Hermes, please drop by Calypso's on Ogygia and give her a little pep talk.
goodbye to you, Odysseus. You could have lived in my throne eternally. You could have remained forever young and immortal. But I cannot defy Zeus's order. Build yourself a barge, pack up your belongings, and scramble.
Odysseus could not believe that the nymph dismissed him. After he pulled himself together, he grabbed an axe and began to chop down trees. Once again, Odysseus set sail out onto the rippling sea. A favorable wind blew, and the days passed by joyfully, except for Poseidon unleashing a 3-day storm.
And this one is for Cyclops.
Odysseus became shipwrecked on another island, an island of bliss, Corfu. He did not know he was sleeping in the land of the Phaeacians. While he slept, the goddess Athena arranged for his return. She hurried to the palace of the Phaeacians' king, Alcinous, to find the young princess. The lovely Nausicaa slept on a bed. Even in sleep, she resembled a goddess. Athena bent down and whispered a dream to her. In the dream, she bid her to walk with her maids to the river next morning and wash her exquisite robes.
Whether you're a goddess or a person, please do not run away. A storm has blown me to this dry land. I don't know anyone here. I don't even know where I am. Show me the way to human settlements. The gods will bless you.
You don't seem to be a bad person, stranger. I am Nausicaa, the daughter of the Phaeacian king, Alcinous, and I'll show you the way. Be not annoyed, stranger, but do not walk with me. Wait here in the aspen grove until I disappear, lest the Phaeacians think that I've captured a foreign bridegroom. You'll find the palace easily. Seek out my father and ask for his help.
Zeus, I begged your court for help. For many long years I roamed the world and yearned for my homeland. Help me return. May the gods bring you delight.
Don't worry, stranger, we will boost you up. And what is your name?
In Asia Minor, not far from Hellespont, a city of Troy once stood. Behind the massive city walls, King Priam and Queen Hecuba ruled. One night, the queen had a very peculiar dream. In the morning twilight, the king summoned a clairvoyant who claimed the queen would bear a son, destined to bring doom and gloom to the city. They abandoned the newborn son in a mountainous wasteland. The forsaken child did not cry for long. A mama bear sniffed it out, licked it, picked it up gently with her teeth. So the lad was raised by bears. Eventually, an old shepherd found the boy on a meadow. He brought him to his cabin and named him Paris. One day the boy picked up his flute, when suddenly in front of him, 3 gorgeous goddesses appeared. Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite.
Which one of us is the prettiest one? Me, Hera, Athena, or Aphrodite?
Aphrodite said,
If you give the apple to me, I promise you the most beautiful of all women, the wife of the Spartan king Menelaus, Helena.
Paris set sail to Sparta. He rejected the code of courtesy, observed even by Olympian gods, and by night he abducted Helena to his ship. As soon as King Menelaus learned of the crime, he set out to Mycenae. In Mycenae, Menelaus' brother, King Agamemnon, reigned. The same day, messengers were dispatched in all directions to call upon Greek heroes for a military expedition against Troy. In order for Odysseus, king of Ithaca, to avoid leaving his wife Penelope and his young son Telemachus, he pretended insanity. In the end, he had to mobilize with the rest of them. One in particular, Achilles, the greatest hero of the entire mission. A day came when Trojan watchmen caught sight of the masts and sails of the enemy army. Trojan warriors rushed out of the city with weapons in hand. Their leader was Hector, the oldest son of King Priam. For 9 years, victory vacillated between Trojans and Greeks. For 9 years, Trojan widows mourned their fallen, and Asian soil thirstily soaked up Greek blood. By the 10th year, Patroclus borrowed Achilles' armor, but on the battlefield, Hector delivered him a deadly blow. Achilles learned of his loyal friend's death. He chased Hector 3 times around the city walls before finally piercing him with his spear. Full of rage, he tied Hector's corpse to his chariot and dragged it around the city in disgrace. But then, soon after Hector's death, Achilles fell as well. He got shot in the leg by Paris. Then a plan occurred to Odysseus. Disguised as a beggar, he slipped into the city and scoured it all. He even met Helena. Then he gave an order to build a great wooden horse and sail away. The Trojans walked around the great wooden horse and marveled. It was the Trojan priest, Laocoon, who sensed that the horse would bring doom to the city. Do not trust the Greeks. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts. Throw the wooden horse into the sea. Build a bonfire. Burn it down. Do not bring the horse inside the city walls.
As I see it, not everyone is enjoying Demodocus' singing. Demodocus sings, and our guest is overcome by grief. Tell us then, stranger, what is your name? Who are your parents, and what country do you come from? So we can take you back there.
I am Odysseus, king of Ithaca, conqueror of cities.
Oh.
On the following day, King Alcinous gave an order to 52 chosen sailors to lower a new black sailing ship into the water and prepare it for voyage. In the distance, the hospitable Phaeacian shores slowly disappeared behind the horizon, and somewhere in front of them lay the island of Ithaca. As the stars began to fade and night yielded to a new day, the Phaeacians reached Odysseus' homeland. The hero was sound asleep. The sailors had no choice but to put the sleeping Odysseus ashore.
Tell me, shepherd, where am I?
Surely Surely you hail from far away, that you don't know the name of this land? The shores of the island of Ithaca? Who are you?
I am the helmsman, Eurylakos, from the island of Corfu.
What kind of man would it take to fool you? You could deceive the gods themselves. You don't drop pretense even in your own country. However, I am here to help you, Odysseus. I am Pallas Athena. I will wrinkle your smooth skin, make your hair disappear, and dress you in shoddy rags. I'll extinguish the sparkle in your eyes and make them look lifeless, so that you appear ugly, not only to the bridegrooms eyeing your wife, Penelope, but also to her. Looking like a poor old man, you will meet a swineherd, Eumaeus. He is honest and remained loyal to you. From him, you'll find out what's going on in the palace. Meanwhile, I will call for your son, Telemachus, who sailed to Sparta, searching for traces of your demise by King Menelaus.
Is even my son to roam the seas?
No need to worry about your son. He doesn't suffer any shortages. I accompanied him myself and will bring him back.
Swineherd, can you offer me anything to eat?
I can offer you only a piglet. The hogs must be taken to the palace, where the bridegrooms are feasting day and night. With this gorging, the herds are getting thinner, the cellars and granaries are increasingly empty. If only my poor master were here, surely he would impose order. Gods only know where he's buried. Long ago, he set out for the Trojan War. If he were still alive, he would have come back by now. After all, Troy fell a long time ago.
I traveled the sea and dry land for a long time. Tell me, what is the name of your master? Perhaps I met him and can tell you about him.
Ah, my unfortunate master. His name was Odysseus. He was good and fair. I won't see another such ruler till the day I die.
If Odysseus is your master, I'll bet you he will return this year.
Oh, keep your bets to yourself. Now, dear guest, tell me your story and how you got here.
I am the helmsman, Eurylakos, from the island of Crete. I, too, was in the Trojan War and met Odysseus there. Not that long ago, I happened upon him again. He told me he was on his way home.
The swineherd listened carefully. He believed everything except the part where Odysseus would return. That he did not believe. Frigid, damp wind blew, and Odysseus was cold. He pondered how to get warm and decided to test the herder.
Listen, I will tell you a true story that happened to me during the besieging of Troy.
One night I camped with King Menelaus, Odysseus and other warriors, in the shrub under the Trojan city walls. We were plotting against the enemy, having to sleep outside at night. A northern wind blew a blizzard in. I left my warm coat in the main camp, thinking it was not gonna freeze. I said, Odysseus, I have no coat, I'm freezing to death. Odysseus stood up and addressed the snoozing warriors. God revealed to me in a dream that we need reinforcements. Promptly one soldier got up, took off his coat and ran back to the camp. I covered myself with his coat and slept until dawn.
Truly a great story. I will lend you my coat as well, old timer.
Who is this stranger?
He is the helmsman, Eurylochos, from the island of Crete. He also said he knew your father. Now that you've returned, he is your guest.
It's better he stays with you. My mother's suitors feasting in the palace are arrogant and spiteful, and Mommy Penelope doesn't dare to defy them. She accommodates them and postpones the moment when she will have to choose one of them. The suitors are boozing, and Daddy's wealth is shrinking. Eumaeus, go to the city and deliver the news to the queen that her son has returned from Sparta alive and well.
Odysseus, you need not disguise yourself from your son any longer. Tell him who you are, and together go to the palace and punish the vain suitors. I will assist you.
I am not the helmsman Eurylochos. I am your father, who you mourn. Pallas Athena stands with us, my son. Now I dress as a beggar for the last time, and tomorrow I will go to the royal palace. Don't tell anyone about our meeting, not even your mother. I want to see for myself who remains loyal to me and who is rooting for the suitors.
I am going to the palace to pay a visit to Mother. See you tomorrow. Beg for alms while in the city.
This stranger,
a beggar Eurylochos, I forgot where from. He claims to know my father.
You jackass! You son of a bitch! You dildo! Get lost before I drag you out by your feet.
There's enough room for both of us at the doorstep. We both are beggars, so I don't know why we should bicker.
Friends, it'll be a funny show when those two go at it. I say we give the victor the biggest blood sausage.
Oh! You son of a bitch! You dildo! Oh!
Sit here and fend off dogs and hogs with a stick, and don't try to be superior to strangers and beggars.
The suitors made merry till late at night. After everybody ate and drank to their heart's content, they went to their chambers to sleep. The father and the son carried all the helmets, shields, and spears away from the hall. The goddess Pallas Athena lit their way with a golden torch. After the weapons were safely put away, Odysseus sent Telemachus to bed while he alone waited for the arrival of Penelope. Neither sorrow nor sadness spoiled her beauty. Penelope did not recognize Odysseus in disguise. She was curious to hear what he had to say. Otherwise, she paid him no attention.
Just tell me, dear stranger, what robes did Odysseus wear? When you met him, how did he look? Tell me also something about his mates.
It's hard to remember after such a long time. 20 years had passed since we first met. If I recall correctly, Odysseus wore a purple woolen cloak. On the cloak there was a golden brooch. The brooch was a masterpiece. It portrayed a faun. Odysseus was accompanied by a hunchback man.
That's okay. Your husband will come back soon.
Dear guest, the day has come when my destiny will be decided. Tomorrow I challenge the suitors to a match. The winner is the one who I will wed.
Don't delay the contest, Penelope, before one of the contenders can flex the long bow of Odysseus and shoot an arrow through a dozen hatchets. Your husband will return King Odysseus, the conqueror of cities. Your husband will return King Odysseus, the conqueror of cities.
Good morning, everybody. Here's your blood sausage.
Luckily, you did not hit the guest, or I would have pierced you with a spear.
I agree with Telemachus, but if he wants to keep the peace, he had better persuade his mother to pick the one of us who she likes and marry him.
By the immortal gods, for a long time I have been telling Mother to make up her mind, but I cannot force her to leave the palace, can I?
I've decided to leave this house, but I will only go with the one of you who can flex Odysseus's bow and shoot an arrow through the openings of 12 hatchets, just like my husband, King Odysseus, conqueror of cities, used to do.
Get up, friends. Let's each take a turn and try our luck. Let's start from the spot where the wine is poured. Somebody get some lard. It occurs to me that the people observe a holiday today, and it is not appropriate to flex a bow on such an occasion. There's enough time to try again tomorrow.
You made the right decision to postpone the contest, but allow me to give it a try.
Odysseus inspected the bow thoroughly and flexed it subtly. He pulled the bowstring and it twittered like a swallow. A mighty thunder sounded from the heaven. Zeus himself was giving Odysseus a sign. The hero gripped an arrow, flexed his bow, and shot through all 12 hatchets. Stunned suitors turned pale, and a terrible foreboding overcame them.
So the first contest has ended. Now I will find me a target that no one has hit yet.
Do not shoot, for so long I was true to you. Show mercy on me.
Hold on, Odysseus, hang on. Finally relinquish your unending eternal carnage.
Penelope wasn't sure. Is this Odysseus? Or is it not Odysseus? She was afraid that the stranger could be a con man. Penelope hoped to hear something that only she and Odysseus knew about to prove this was really her husband. Odysseus reminded her of how he built their palace bedchamber. He constructed a room around an oak tree. He carved it and used the tree trunk as a column.
Look, see, do you remember how I got this scar?
Penelope realized that this man was indeed her lamented husband. She embraced him and with tears in her eyes, welcomed him home.
Dada has returned.
Odysseus fumigated the banquet hall and the entire palace with sulfur. As advised by the shadow of the blind seer Tiresias, he then made a sacrifice to the god Poseidon. Questions and stories continued to no end. What a bunch of baloney.